Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sam, for that great introduction. We're LocalGov Drupal, and I'm Will Callaghan. I'm the project lead. I might tell you more about the cat later if you're interested. Before we, in fact, I think I've skipped through a few slides. Sorry. Before we start, sort of telling you about what we're doing now, I thought I'd give you a little bit of history. If you've been to one of these talks before, you've probably heard some of this stuff, so apologies, but there might be new people who've not really heard where we've come from, why we're here. I mean, the problem, if you're in local government, you'll know about this already. There's 400 odd UK councils. They all need .gov main websites, and there's a lot of money and time and effort and expertise spending, money every 3 to 5 years to rebuild these things. And user needs are similar or the same. The technology might change, but the needs are very similar as time goes on. But councils aren't really swapping notes or collaborating overly. I mean, from my own point of view, I generally have a Bill Murray slide here because for me, it feels like Groundhog Day. I've built 7 of these things all together, and I just feel like I'm sort of reinventing the wheel constantly. I think the story goes back further than 2019, but I guess there are lots of talented colleagues in Brighton and elsewhere that really helped us get started. But I guess the start of the project proper was this article and the agreement that Croydon and Brighton and Hove councils made to basically stop reinventing the wheel. Croydon said, you've got a really good publishing platform, Brighton, we want to start using that. And it's the credit to some of the people on this photo, so the product manager, Tom Steele and colleagues, that we got on and did that. I think it wouldn't have been possible without the local digital declaration, which Sam mentioned. So Brighton and Croydon have signed it, and many other people have signed it. But in that, it talks about reuse of technology rather than reinventing the wheel. And we're really able to lean into that and talk to our colleagues about why that's really important. And they accepted it. They went for it. Sam didn't mention the local digital fund, but I mean, that's played a critical part in our work. We're able to go to a fund and say, we are using some code already. We're sharing code. Can you help us grow this? Can you help us explore whether other councils want to do it too? And the little badge for the discovery work that we did, was kind of the start of that. Do councils really want to work together? And we found that they did. Fast forward to today, there are 12 councils in our partnership, I guess, right now, and they're all over the country. There's a lot of London councils, but there's a lot of councils sort of in other parts of the country as well. I'm based at Cumbria County Council right now. They've been a brilliant home for us. They take this very seriously. We're supported by a lot of suppliers in each of these different councils, and the main project is supported by an Oxford-based Drupal agency called Agile Collective. Finn, my colleague, is in the chat if you want to ask any questions. So thanks for that, Finn. What we're offering today, and you can go and get this stuff today, is a kit of Drupal parts that any council can download and create the website publishing platform you really need. There's a Slack community, it's very active with 105 people in it right now. And you can get a test of this running in 15 minutes. I mean, ultimately you want to do more work on it, but you can try it in 15 minutes. And it's very easy for a developer to add new features to it. The benefits, I mean, we've found all sorts of benefits. There's reduced time and cost, obviously. Particularly, we're starting to explore now around sort of microsites or satellite sites that we all have. We think we're going to see a lot of savings there. The fact that we collaborate means we can build once for everyone. And we find that we're doing that more and more. And we're learning from each other. Lots of tips and tricks that we all use and ways of working that we're sharing. The content formats that we're producing, they're based on good practice. We look a lot of what GovUK is doing and elsewhere. The work's all accessible, it's responsive, and we're seeing in call centres where we're starting to measure this now that it's reducing failure demand. So it's a kind of win for everyone. As I said, we're in beta. These are the things that we're looking at. Other things, but these are the highlights. So we've got content lifecycle workflow type tools already, but we want to do more with it. We think we can introduce scheduled publishing and better review links and better workflow. So we're going through that now. We have almost like a mini product within LocalGov Drupal called Directories, and another CLG project called Open Referral. We're implementing their standards. So, proper data, shareable, structured data, which is great. We have a feature called Subsites, which is basically, make a microsite. We're doing a lot more with that. We want to be able to sort of be able to spin up sites quickly, give the power to content designers and service designers and teams to do this. We're doing a lot more work on forms. Drupal web forms in Drupal 9, which we're all in, is really good. It's a good starting point for this kind of work. We're also thinking about what happens long term. Maybe we're 20 councils or 30 councils. How do we manage this? How do we sort of keep it all together? And very happy to talk a bit more about that in the chat. We're also trying to develop tools that we can all share. So this is, you may well be familiar with this. This is the Design Council Double Diamond process. It's been really useful for us. How do we all design together? What common frame of reference do we have? So things like that are great. And we're not reinventing it. It exists. It's useful. We'll use it. The biggest problem that we have in beta, I think, there's other challenges, but I think this is the biggest, is we've got 12 councils now. They're all busy. They've got their own priorities. How do we get them to collaborate meaningfully together? It's handy that we've got a lot in common already. So even if councils aren't using Scrum, which is the left-hand side picture, at least they know about it, and we can talk about the concepts within that and refer to them. Also, this page on GovUK, I think I look at it sort of twice a week now, but what are the jobs, what are the skills that we all think we need, what are the capabilities we need? So even if you don't have a product manager in your council, you can talk about the kind of skills that involves. And we're all heading in this direction and gathering more of these skills, hiring more of these people. We're also looking at sort of concepts maybe outside of sort of digital land. So there's a really interesting thing called Sociocracy, which has roots that go way back, but it's about sort of decentralizing decision making. There's a lot of us and our groups. There's one group we have called the product group, which is really big. It's got sort of 30 to 50 people that come along every month. It's too big to make a decision. So what we're starting to do is make working groups, for want of a better phrase. So our product groups and technical groups sit at the center, where we talk about bigger picture things and we give our work a bit of direction. But the decision making is made around the outside. We're about to have a working group for microsites or subsites, for forms, for front end and for back end. And we're pushing decisions out to the people who are best placed to make them, giving them the time to make these decisions. And that's proving really interesting. It's a model that we're going to sort of keep working on and use in the future. One final thing before I sign off, we've got a survey right now and you can win John Lewis vouchers. So if you feel like that, and if you want to tell us more about how you do collaboration in your council, how you use CMSs, how do you make decisions about buying them, we'd really love to hear from you, and it will definitely help our work. So go to bit.ly LGD survey and you can tell us more. Fantastic. Please do get in touch if you like what you see. We're on Twitter at LocalGov Drupal, or you can reach us on email. Thank you for listening.